Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Kill Your Darlings #1. This is a new book from KLC Press at Image Comics. This book is written by Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan, with art by Bob Quinn and letters by John J. Hill. In this book, 8-year-old Rose loves nothing more than to play pretend in a magical land of her own creation. To her, that world is as real as her own, from her fluffy friends to the terrible evil that lurks at the center of it all. In one night, the line between fantasy and reality will disappear, an ancient hunger will feed again, and Rose will be pulled into a gruesome saga that began centuries before her birth. Yeah, this book is very intense. We had the pleasure of having the creators talk to us a little while ago. You can find that video in the description or in the channel. We also re-released it along with the trailer for this book. But man, let me tell you, Kill Your Darlings is such a wild ride. Let's start with the story. I think the story, to me, it just feels like something that is not only a work of passion because of the conversation I had with the creators, but just something that is there to intrigue you and create a mystery while building out this world that it seems familiar in some ways, but of course it has its own different touches. I think when you combine that with Bob Quinn's art, you get something that is a really nice mixture of fantasy, maybe a little bit of horror, but yeah, the story just kind of unravels in that way. So let me pull up some preview art so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So here we are. We have these opening panels. I think Bob Quinn is really suited to play in this world between fantasy and kind of horror, and the mystery that we're building. I love how colorful and bright this world of the imagination is, and we're introduced to Rose. And I'm glad that these pages are back to back here, so you can see obviously this is Rose's imagination with all with her army and everything that's going on. But then we go back to the real world and we see that these are just stuffed animals, right? These are just little stuffed animals, and Rose is doing all this. She's creating her own little map. She's creating her own little world. This all lives in her imagination, but to her, it's real, right? It's real. It's important, and to highlight that, I think we see some of this narration in red. I think John's letters really make that stand out. It was a really nice creative choice by the team here. So we are very quickly introduced to everything that's going on. We explore this world of fantasy in the first few pages, and I think that's very efficient. That's a really fun way to tell the story. I really like the juxtaposition between the world of fantasy, the real world, and then also the point of view from Rose. Right, you see the little map, and that looks like an 8-year-old drew all this stuff. Right, I think that for somebody who's as talented as Bob Quinn, that's to make something look like an 8-year-old. It's probably quite an exercise. So, and then I wanted to contrast with some of these other pages. You've probably seen some of these in the preview, but I wanted to talk about these because, as you can see here, the tone of the story continues to shift in a more darker manner. Rose is even using different colors of the crayons, which is really interesting, right? As things get, a little bit more unhinged, when she goes in, I love this panel when she goes into her imagination and she sees that there's something wrong, something's amiss, and I told the creators during the stream like that this panel of Rose reaching out into that room, into the unknown, is one of my favorites. Like as she's exploring the house, juxtaposed with what she's seeing inside of the fantasy world. She almost looks like she's in a trance. This is really good stuff. There's a fun prologue for this book, but I don't want to get too much into that. I don't want to spoil anything, but it really adds another layer that you're not even ready for in this. So I'm very excited for multiple reasons, right? I think the people over at KLC Press are doing some fantastic work with books like Vanish and The Schlub, and now we have the third book here, Kill Your Darlings. So that's one thing. Also, just we begin to see a lot of the behind the scenes of how this book is done, and talking to the creators, I understand not only their passion for the work, but also how much work and effort has been put into a project like this. So that's also very fun. And once again, Bob Quinn's art, just I really enjoy it. It's really fun to see it shifting around. We also have some cool variant covers by Ryan Stegman. You'll see one of them at the end of the video. So yeah, I'm very excited for public reception of this. I've seen a lot of opinions from early reviews and stuff like that. I didn't want to put out my review until the week of, because I feel like that's when more people are finally remembering, like, oh yeah, my pull list has to be ready, or like, you're gonna get gearing up for the week. So but yeah, this is very cool stuff. Really cool. Like, this is just one of my favorite books that I've started reading in a long time. So definitely going to keep this one up. We'll have more reviews for these as we go along. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this book. Let me know which variant you pick up. And, if you are around, the creators are all over the US. So they'll be doing some signings, going to New York Comic Con, all that cool stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for the future of this book. I'm excited for the future of this team, because they, like I said, we had a really fun conversation about this. So, and let me know what you thought about this book, and if you're excited for this. So, as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.